Hi, it's Steve again with another sales tips video. Today's topic is on questioning skills for increased sales. Now, if we want to increase sales, we understand that it's about being able to create compelling value propositions for our customers. And what I'm showing here on the slide is a Venn diagram, which you're all aware of as salespeople, which is on one side of our equation our customers' needs, and on the other side are the product and service offering that we have. Now, if we want to increase the number of opportunities we have, i.e. the bit in the middle where our product and service overlaps with the customer needs, then we need to understand more customer needs, and we also need to be able to offer better value propositions for our customer. Now, to do that over here, questioning skills and being able to ask great questions allows us to understand the potential business wins that the customer's looking for, and also the personal wins that they might get from implementing our product or service offer. On this side, by understanding a bit more, we're able to offer new and better targeted propositions, and as you can see in our simple Venn diagram, the number of opportunities that we might find to support a customer to be more successful increase. Now, if I look in a bit more detail at the questioning skills, there's a nice exercise that you can do if you're a sales leader with your team, and that is to organise your team into pairs and get one of the pairs to sell their hobby to the other person. The other person could mildly resist. This will only take 2 or 3 minutes, but whilst they're doing this selling process, just assess how much of the time the seller is talking versus the buyer. Because we know from research and also our experience that share of voice is one of the biggest single determinants of success. If we can get the buyer talking for approximately 75% of the time, and if we can get the seller to only talk about 25% of the time, our chances of success increase. Now, it's not just about the amount of time that you have as the seller, it's about what you use with that time. And what we're suggesting is having a balance of inquiry and advocacy. So that will give you a huge amount of insight into the customer's situation, understand their needs. At SalesStrong, what we've done is create a questioning structure that really improves salespeople's ability to ask the right kind of questions. We call it the grid, and it's a go anywhere but go everywhere model. And the G in grid stands for goal. So with the kind of questions here, we're looking to understand what it is that the customer's trying to achieve, both from a business and a personal perspective. The R is the review, and the review is looking at the current situation, understanding some of the challenges that they might face, understanding what's going on in their environment, and that leads us into the impact. And in the impact area, we're really asking questions to uncover any potential pain or problems the customer is experiencing, or any gain that they could get or that they're looking to achieve. And this is where a lot of the power is in our questioning structure. The final piece is the D, and the D is understanding what's important to the customer in making a decision. What's their decision criteria? Is there anyone else who needs to be involved, and what kind of time frames have they got in place? So it's go anywhere, go everywhere, because a sales conversation is organic. We wouldn't necessarily go around this in order. We might start down in here at impact, find a potential customer pain, and then move from there up into goal to say, well, if we could fix that pain for you, what would that allow you to achieve, and really understand what goals they're aiming for. There are certain kind of questions that are going to help you open up a customer a bit more effectively. I'm sure you've come across these, but they're worth repeating, and they are TED questions. And this is tell, explain, describe. If we precede a question with these, we tend to find we get much more open responses. What you can do is you can start to work around the grid and come up with some questions that would help you. If I think about some goal questions, it might be as simple as what can I help you with? What goals and aspirations do you have, or what would you like to achieve? Over here in the review, questions like what's your current situation? Tell me some of the background to this. Describe that. And if we look at the pain and the gain in the impact, it could be, well, what's the real cost of that issue? How does that impact X? Or on the gain, how much would that benefit? And what's the real impact of that? Over here in the decision, how will you make a decision? Who's involved? What timescales are you working to? And what's most important to you? So these kind of questions, using the grid, can really improve your understanding of customers' needs. Again, if I'm talking directly to sales leaders at this point, it's a great exercise you can do with salespeople, which is get them to think of a recent customer interaction, get them to populate their own grid with the kind of answers to those questions that they receive from the customer. The first thing you'll note is whether they got a full understanding of the customer, because if the grid is quite empty, there's probably some more work to be done on the questioning skills. The second great use of this tool is they can now use this in a real play or a role play situation. And what we can do is we can organise our team into threes, with one person being the seller. The seller's role is to try and find out from the customer what's on their grid, and then our observer can give some really good feedback. Now, if you'd like to have a chat about how you might be able to implement this more effectively for yourself as an individual salesperson, or in your organisation if you're a sales leader, please contact me, steve@salestrong.co.uk. Thank you.